The data security is also called as information security or cyber security or computer security. We are going to have the aspects of data security. The way used to protect your data is nothing but the encryption and decryption. In private key, a single key is shared between the two parties, that is nothing but the sender as well as receiver. Hello to all, a warm welcome to my new session. I am Revati, Faculty, Department of Computer Science, Vidyashram, First Grade College, Mysore. We are on the 8th session of Introduction to Data Security. In my today's session, I am going to deal with what is data security. Along with that, I am going to deal with what is private key and what is public key. So before going to start my session, let me to recall the things what I discussed in my last session. In my last session, I discussed what is token bucket algorithm. Along with that, I discussed steps involved in the token bucket algorithm. At the same time, I discussed the difference between leaky bucket algorithm and the token bucket algorithm. And I also discussed the difference between congestion control and flow control. But in today's session, I'm going to deal with data security. In that, I'm going to explain what is private key and what is public key. So before going to start my session, so let me to explain what is data and what is data security. So here data is nothing but information, or it may be a raw fact, or it may be a processed data. And all the data are stored in computer system or in mobile phone. Now I want to provide the security for data. For that reason, I'm going to use data security. So, in data security, the main intention of data security is to provide the security for our data. So, here the data may contain some valuable information or sensitive information. Now, I want to protect my data from the unauthorized user or from the hacker or from the accident. So what I will do, I'm going to provide the security for my data. So here the data security is the process of protecting sensitive information from unauthorized access. I repeat, here the data security is a process of protecting sensitive information. So what sensitive information means what? It may be your password, then your bank details. These are some of the example for sensitive information or valuable information. So here the data security is the process of protecting sensitive information from unauthorized user or unauthorized access. So it includes all the different cyber security practices you use to secure data from misuse. That means you can use any kind of cyber security practice in order to avoid your data misuse. So you can also use encryption methods or access restriction. That means you can use physical and digital access restriction. That means in encryption, you can able to convert your data into some other form in order to provide the security. Whereas in access restriction, you can able to protect your hardware as well as software by providing access restriction. That means you can use password protection. So here the data security consists of measures taken by business or some organization to monitor and prevent unauthorized access from the outside attack. That means here the data security is a precaution or the measurement which is taken by the many business organization to monitor and prevent the unauthorized access from the outside attackers. The main aim of data security is to securing the confidentiality and accessibility of the data and network. That means we require data security in order to securing the confidentiality of the data, whereas accessibility of the data as well as network. So let's see some of the example for data security technologies. In that we are going to have backup. That means take the backup of your data, where you can use data masking. That means you can convert your data into some other form, that is nothing but the encryption or decryption. And we are going to have data eraser. So here the data security is nothing but the way or technology used to prevent your data from unauthorized access. So here the data security is the practice of protecting digital information from unauthorized access. That means whatever the data security we are going to have, that is nothing but the practice of protecting or preventing digital information from unauthorized access or corruption or theft throughout its entire life cycle. That means it is a measurement or precaution taken to prevent our digital data from unauthorized access or corruption or from the theft. So here it is a concept that encompasses every aspect of information security from the physical security. That means the data security is also going to focus on the physical aspects of physical security. That means it is mainly going to deal with the physically how you're going to protect your data as well as your computer system. So in physical security, you can able to protect your data by using passwords. So here the physical security that includes hardware and storage device to administrative and access control, as well as the logical security of software applications. That means the data security is also going to include the security for your physical devices as well as the logical devices. So if it is physical device, then it indicates your hardware as well as storage device. That means how you're going to protect your hardware devices as well as storage devices. And if it is logical security, then how you're going to protect your software application from the theft or from the unauthorized access. So it also includes organizational policy and procedures. That means the data security includes the organizational policy as well as procedures. That means I want to protect the organizational policy as well as procedures. So here the data security is also known as information security or cyber security or computer security. I repeat, the data security is also called as information security or cyber security or computer security. So here the key data security technology measure is encryption. That means when it comes to data security, what are the measurement we can able to take here is that is in the form of encryption. That means convert your actual data into some other form. That is itself called encryption. So where the digital data, software, hardware and hard drives are encrypted. That means by using encryption technology, we can able to encrypt digital data as well as software, or you can also able to encrypt hardware and hardware drives. Therefore, the encryption is used to ensure that whatever the data is encrypted, that cannot be read by the unauthorized user or from the hacker. So here we are going to mask our data. That means we are going to convert our actual data into some other form so that no other can able to access or able to read that data. So here we are going to have the aspects of data security. So we are going to have 4 different aspects of data security. In that we are going to have privacy, we are going to have message integrity, authentication and non-repudiation. I repeat, it is privacy, message integrity, authentication and non-repudiation. These are the 4 different aspects of data security. Moving further, let's see what is privacy. So here the privacy is a method used to protect your sensitive data. So the privacy means both the sender and the receiver accepts confidentiality. That means the both sender and receiver is going to agree with their confidentiality. So the transmitted message should be sent only to the intended receiver. That means before going to send any data or information, there must be a communication between sender and receiver. That means they must agree with their confidentiality. Then only the transmitted message should sent only to the intended receiver, while the message should be opaque from other user. That means whatever the message or information you're going to send, you must maintain the confidentiality. That means you must agree with the receiver. Then only your message is opaque from other user. So here, before going to send any data, the sender and receiver must be agree with each other in order to maintain the confidentiality of the message or data. So whatever the message you are going to receive, that should be opaque from other user. So only the sender and receiver should able to understand and transmitted data. I repeat, suppose if I want to provide privacy for my data, then the sender and receiver should able to understand their transmitted data. For privacy, once again we are going to use encryption technology. That means in encryption we are going to have keys. So before going to take any transmission, the 2 keys are shared between 2 parties. That means the keys are shared between sender as well as receiver. So based on that, the sender and receiver can able to understand and transmit their message. To provide security, here once again we are going to use encryption. That means we are going to mask our data and the keys are shared between 2 parties, that is sender as well as receiver. So to achieve privacy in data security, once again we are going to use encryption. That means we are going to mask our sensitive data. To mask our data, we are going to use different key. So the 2 keys are shared between sender and receiver, and they should able to understand the transmitted message. Then we are going to have message integrity. The data integrity means that the data must arrive at the receiver exactly as it sent. That means in message integrity, we are mainly going to focus on whatever the message we are going to receive that is identical to the sent message. So the data integrity means that the data must arrive at the receiver exactly it has sent. That means here we are going to focus on the identity, that means identical of the message. So there must be no change in the data content during transmission, either maliciously or accidentally in a transmission. That means the data must be received as it is. That means there is no change in data during the transmission of data. Whatever the data it is sent, that must be identical in the receiving side. So there is no change in the data content during the transmission or other malicious activities or accident in a transmission. The another aspects of data security here is endpoint authentication. I repeat, the another aspect of data security here is endpoint authentication. So here authentication means that the receiver is sure of sender identity. I repeat, the receiver must know the sender identity. So here the authentication means that the receiver must have some idea about the sender, that means sender identity. That is, no imposter has sent the message. So before going to open any message, you must have some knowledge or idea about the sender. So you must have the sender identity in order to avoid imposters. So here the identities of the sender and receivers are confirmed. That means before going to take any data transmission, both the parties must be capable to understand their identity. That means they must interchange or exchange their identity. So here, before going to transfer any data or information, the sender and receiver's identity must be confirmed, so that as well as destination or origin of information is confirmed. That means to provide security for your data, before going to transfer any data to the receiver, what the sender is going to do? Sender is going to do the confirmation about the receiver. That means the identity of the sender as well as receivers are confirmed in end-to-end authentication. Then only it's possible to transfer the data. Then we are going to have non-repudiation. So what is non-repudiation? Here non-repudiation means that the receiver must able to prove that the received message has came from specific sender. So this is very important aspects of data security. The receiver is must capable to prove itself that whatever the data he or she has been received, that must be came from the specific sender. So here the non-repudiation means that the receiver must able to prove that the received message has came from specific sender. The creator or sender of the information cannot deny. That means once the receiver is capable to prove themselves, then the sender cannot able to deny he or her intention to send information at later stage. That means here the creator or sender is also not capable to deny the sending message. So here the creator or sender of information cannot deny. So the example here is, if a customer sends a request to transfer a money. I repeat, suppose if the customer is going to send a request to transfer a money from one account to another account. I repeat, the customer is going to send a request that he or she want to send a money from one account to another account. Then the bank must have a proof that the customer has requested for the transaction. That means the bank must have take a proof that the customer has requested to transfer the money. So this is the best example for non-repudiation. So in non-repudiation, the receiver must able to prove that whatever the message he or she is going to receive, that came from the specific sender. Moving further, we are going to have encryption and decryption. That means the way used to protect your data is, that is nothing but the encryption and decryption. So what is encryption? Here encryption is a technique used to mask your data. So here encryption means that the sender converts the original information into another form and sends the unintelligible message over the network. I repeat, encryption is a technique that is mainly used to convert your original data into some other form. So what is original data then? So think that I have original data, that is nothing but my plain text. Before going to transfer my plain text, what I want to do? I want to convert my plain text into some other form. So what I will do? By using encryption technique, I'm going to convert this plain text into the cipher text. Cipher text. Then I'm going to transfer this cipher text to the receiver. So in encryption, encryption means that the sender converts the original information. Here original information is nothing but the plain text into another form. So here the another form is nothing but the cipher text and sends the message over the network. So in decryption, that means in the receiver side, the receiver is going to receive the message. What message the receiver is going to receive? That is nothing but the cipher text, and now the receiver is going to apply decryption algorithm in order to convert cipher text into plain text. So here the decryption reverses the encryption process in order to transfer the message back to the original form. So in encryption, we are going to have plain text and cipher text. But in receiver side, we are going to have cipher text. From cipher text, I am going to extract original text, that is nothing but the plain text. So in receiver side, the decryption reverses the encryption process in order to transfer the message back to the original form. That means you're going to convert your cipher text into the plain text. So the data which is to be encrypted at the sender side is known as plain text. That means whatever the original information we are going to have, that is called plain text, and the encrypted data, that means after applying encryption technique to the plain data, that is plain text, whatever the output I'm going to get, that is considered as cipher text. So the data is decrypted at the receiver side. I repeat, whatever the actual or original data I have, that is called plain text. After applying encryption algorithm, whatever the output I'm going to get, that is called cipher text. Here ciphertext is nothing but the masked data. So in order to mask the data, we are going to use encryption technique. So moving further, let's see the types of encryption and decryption. So here we are going to have two types of technique, that is encryption or and decryption technique. In that first one, it is privacy or private with secret key encryption or decryption, then privacy with public key encryption. I repeat, the privacy with secret key, that is nothing but the private key encryption or decryption technique, and another type here is privacy with public key encryption or decryption. Let's see the private key, that is nothing but the secret key. So a secret key encryption or decryption technique, the same key is shared between the sender as well as receiver. I repeat, in private key encryption or decryption technique, a single key is shared between sender as well as receiver. So the sender uses the secret key, that is nothing but the private key, to encrypt the data, and at the receiver side, the receiver is going to use the private key to decrypt the data. So the sender uses the secret key and encryption algorithm to encrypt the data, and in receiver uses the key and decryption algorithm to decrypt the data. So a single key is shared between sender as well as receiver. That means in private key, a single key is shared between the two parties, that is nothing but the sender as well as receiver. So the private key algorithm is also known as secret key algorithm. So here the private key plays a very important role in symmetric and asymmetric cryptography. Moving further, let's see the public key. So here public key, the name itself indicates that it is going to use two keys. One is private key and one is public key. So the public key is used by the sender, whereas the private key is used by the receiver. So there are two keys in public key encryption. In that first one, a private key, and the second key is called public key. So here the private key is given to the receiver. That means the private key is always present with the receiver, while the public key is provided to the public. That means here the public key is used by the sender, and at the same time it is provided to the public. So the public key used by the sender is different from the private key used by the receiver. That means to encrypt data in sender side, the sender is going to use public key, whereas in receiver side, to decrypt the data, the receiver is going to use private key. So a public key is available to the public, while the private key is kept by the individual user. That means here the private key is used by the receiver. So here the most commonly used public key encryption algorithm is RSA. So a public key, two keys are used, in that one is used by the sender and one is used by the receiver. So in sender side, we are going to use public key in order to encrypt the data, whereas in receiver side we are going to use private key in order to decrypt the data. So one key, that is public key, is used for encryption. The plain text is converted into ciphertext, and the other key, that is private key, is used by the receiver in order to decrypt. That means in sender side, the sender is going to use public key in order to convert the plain text into cipher text, whereas in the receiver side, the receiver is going to use private key in order to decrypt ciphertext into plain text. So here, let's see the difference between private key as well as public key. So in private key, the same key, that is secret key, and the algorithm is used to encrypt as well as decrypt the message. That means in private key, a single key is used between both the parties in order to encrypt the data as well as decrypt the data. Whereas in public key, the public key is used by the sender, whereas the private key is used by the receiver in order to decrypt the data or message. Moving on to the next difference, under private key, the private key cryptography, the key is kept secret. That means whatever the key we are going to use in private key encryption or decryption, we are going to keep that key secret. Whereas in public key, the public key cryptography, one of the two keys are kept secret. That means the private key is kept secret and the public keys are available public. The next difference under private key is the private key is called symmetric encryption or symmetrical because it is going to use only one key and it is called secret key. Whereas in public key, it is also called asymmetric because there we are going to use two different keys, that is public key as well as private key. The next difference under private key here is, in this cryptography, sender and receiver need to share the same key. That means in private key, we are going to have only one key and the same key is shared between sender as well as receiver. Whereas in public key, we are going to have two keys. So sender is going to use public key, whereas the receiver is going to use private key. The next difference under private key is, this cryptography, the key is private. That means whatever the key we are going to use in private key encryption or decryption technique, the keys are kept private. Whereas in public encryption, the sender and the receiver does not need to share the same key. That means both the parties are going to use different keys. The next difference under private key is the example. That means example for private key encryption or decryption technique is DES, that is data encryption standard. Whereas the example for public key encryption is RSA algorithm, that is RSA encryption and decryption algorithm. These are the some of the difference between private key as well as public key. So in today's class, we discussed what is data and what is data security, why we want to provide data security, and at the same time we discussed what is encryption and what is decryption. Along with that, we discussed what is public key and what is private key. So in my next session, I'm going to do the revision. So I'm going to start with first unit, that is the revision of first unit. From the examination point of view, whatever the topic I thought today, that is very important and it carries 7 marks. Thank you for watching my session. Let's meet in the next session. Until then, take care. Thank you.